It's Cipriani here on behalf of Celsius. What I'm going to do today is go over one of my favorite full body circuits. Putting these four movements together, we're going to stimulate some lean muscle tissue and burn some fat. We're going to do it in circuit style to keep the heart rate elevated throughout the course of our workout. We're going to do four movements. Through these four, if you execute them properly, you're going to be able to stimulate directly or indirectly every single muscle group of the body. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. First movement we're going to do is a dumbbell squat. Now the dumbbell squat is going to work, let me put these down real quick. Your quadriceps predominantly, we're going to get some hamstring and glute activation as well. Just by holding the dumbbells, when you get into some substantial weight, you're going to be able to get an indirect stimulus on the shoulders and upper back just from holding the weight. Alright, now when you do a squat, what I want you to think of is anytime you sit down. You know, we don't sit down just from our knees in a straight line. There's a hinge backwards with your glutes as you sit into a seat. We want to utilize that same hinge as we sit down and back into a squat. We don't want to just be knee squatters. Our knees should travel in, they should track with the feet as you go down, but their travel over the feet should be not excessive. Alright, and if you're sitting down and back of your glutes, you want to have that issue. So, we're going to take those dumbbells, hold them right at our sides. We're going to sit down and back with the hips. Now what we want to try to do is get at least parallel to the ground with the butt and keep those heels flat. You don't want to go down like a catcher does behind home plate where you're rolling the heels up and you're on the balls of your feet. Pushing through the heels is imperative for bringing the hamstrings and glutes into play. So sitting down and back, stand tall. I'll show you from the side. Butt hinges back a little bit, heels stay flat. And there you go. So we're going to do 8 to 12 reps of that. That's part one of our circuit. Okay, after you're done squatting, we're going to go right into a dumbbell bench press. This particular movement, we're going to be stimulating the chest, primarily and pectoral muscles. We're also going to get a lot of shoulder and tricep stimulation. So, what you're going to do is lay back, carefully on the bench. Our contact points are our head, glutes, and shoulder blades. We're going to have a lift to the rib cage and chest. The shoulders pinch back. I want to keep the forearms fairly perpendicular to the ground throughout. And all we're going to do is push. We're going to go from just outside the chest with a nice comfortable stretch to full extension of the arm. What I don't want to see you do is throwing your shoulders forward and up. Keep those shoulders back and the chest high. So you're down under control and pressing right through. Just like the squat, we're going to go 8 to 12 reps with this. Alright? Now once you're done here, proper execution of sitting up with them, and then we're going to go into the one-arm dumbbell row. Okay, we've done our dumbbell squats, we've done our dumbbell bench press. Next up in the circuit is the one-arm dumbbell row. For this, what I want you to do is you're going to have that same bench. You're going to put one knee up, and we're going to put one foot out and back a little bit. What I want you to be careful is not to put this foot too far underneath you. It's going to obstruct the range of motion that you get out of this. Because we want to pull this dumbbell, have a nice free line to pull this without the leg getting in the way. Your hand's going to be on the bench, but what I want you to make sure you're not doing is putting all your pressure down on the wrist. That can cause problems. So I want you to stabilize your body weight, and your hand is just like a kickstand. Alright, it's just there for enough balance, kind of like the rudder of a boat, just a guide. There's not going to be too much pressure on there. Now, with all back movements, I don't care which ones you do in life, any row or pull, your concentration is going to be your elbow. Don't think about so much the hand coming towards you. You want to think about the elbow being pulled back past the body line. Let the hand follow. From here, down is just a hook. So what I mean by that, so you're in your position, you have a dumbbell in hand. Think about bringing that elbow up past the body line, just let the hand follow, and you're going to contract that back muscle right in the scapular region here. You want to feel that curl in and contract. Then you want to go full extension, under control, nice stretch. You don't want to be twisting with your upper body. You want a nice flat back, chest out throughout. You're going to pull this dumbbell right between the chest and hip, and full extension down. So we've got through our dumbbell squat, dumbbell bench press, One arm dumbbell row, we have to do both sides. And after we get done with that, we're going to the final movement, which is the plank. Ready? Alright, we've got our final move now. We're going to work our core with this. We're just going to do a standard plank. Any mat, you can do it on the floor, whatever you're comfortable with. Here's how it's going to look. I'm going to set up. Now you're going to see me go down, hopefully if the camera's at a good angle. My forearms are going, or upper arm is going to stay perpendicular to the ground. So our elbow is going to be directly underneath the shoulder, and it's going to be just like a strong pillar perpendicular to that floor. Forearms are going to be flush on the mat or floor, wherever you're doing it. Now from here, you're just going to extend your legs out, and then we want a nice neutral spine. What I mean by that is we don't want to sag, and we don't want our butt in the air. Nice and neutral, and we're just going to hold. This is just a stabilizing movement. Keep your abs pulled in and tight, breathe normally, and we're going to hold this for time. We're going to start you out at 30 seconds, you're going to work your way up to a minute. Alright? So there you have it. There's our circuit. Our 4 movements. We have the dumbbell squat, which we're going to do for 8 to 12 reps to stimulate the quadricep, glutes, and hamstrings. We have the dumbbell bench press for 8 to 12 reps, which is going to stimulate the chest, shoulders, and triceps. And then we have the one-arm dumbbell row, which again we're going to do 8 to 12 reps per side, which is going to stimulate the back and biceps. And then we're going to go to the floor for a plank, which is going to stimulate the core. Try to get into each movement as rapidly as possible without rushing where you screw up your form and all. Alright? Take up to 30 seconds to go from the squat into the bench press, another 30 seconds to go from the bench press into the dumbbell row, and the same thing, up to 30 seconds to get from the dumbbell row to the plank. After you're done with the plank, that's our full circuit, take 1 minute, get some water, come back, do another circuit. You want to complete 3 to 4 circuits total. You should get that done inside of 15 to 20 minutes. By the time you're done, you should feel pretty worked. Okay? Till then, let's get moving.